My name's Ian. I'm one of the Hustle Brothers here. Here with my good friend Chris, here for another RKLB fan club. Chris, my guy, great day. To be fair, it wasn't that great of a day for me, but I will let the stream build up before I get into that story. But Chris, how are you getting on?
I had a great day. Great day myself. Sorry to hear you didn't have a great day yourself. It comes and goes in waves, I guess. But much like the market, such is life. Such is life. But yeah, today for me, amazing day. Loving life. Again, love being here with you, my friend. Being live. Gonna have some fun. Tonight's gonna be very interesting. We've got some uh, we've got some fun stuff to talk about for sure. I can't wait.
Yeah, we got a few rabbit holes to go down. I quite enjoyed that stream yesterday, talking about um, all different type of photon space buses. We spoke about flat light. Still want to do a deep dive into them, but no, it was nice to remind ourselves about some of the basics behind it. Kind of want to do the same sort of thing today around the solar solutions, around the payloads. We'll do a bit of a deep dive into that, see where we can see Rocket Lab going. Look, Sunday is rabbit hole time. We know some of the guys do love our rabbit holes, so I thought, you know what, there's nothing better than do a rabbit hole Sunday. But I had an insane day today, my guy. Guys, just strap yourself in for this one. Not gonna lie, yeah. So, if any of you are on the eVTOL fan club stream, I streamed about it must have been 2 hours ago at this stage. You'll have heard this story before, so do bear with me. But insane day. Yeah. So, bit of a background. My mother can't feel her legs anymore, so she can't drive. So I had to go pick her up, bring her into town. Yeah. Another bit of background is my phone broke like 3 days ago. So I'm waiting for my new phone to come tomorrow. I'm waiting for a new camera to come tomorrow. I'm waiting for another mic to come tomorrow as well. That's fine. So went to town, dropped mother, all good. Coming out of town, driving up towards the roundabout, I just tipped the brake, and so next thing I got a flash in the dashboard, brake shoe. Oh, please check brake shoe or something like that. Went to hit the brakes for the roundabout, brakes kaput, not working. So had to try slow down with the gears and then go around the roundabout. So as I'm trying to go around the roundabout, next thing, another flash in the dashboard, power steering gone. So, my God, do you know what? Trying to fight that was a nightmare. Come off the roundabout anyway, into a estate, and just parked up there. And guys, if any of you have been to Ireland, the rain is insane. So it's like a thunder shower, yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm a farmer, so I have Weltons on. I have a tracksuit with holes in it on. I'm not dressed to go to town. So I literally put my head back and I'm like, look, I've no phone, I've no money because I don't know what it's like in the US, but to be fair, all I ever use lately is Apple Pay. So I use it on my phone. And because I was going to drop the mother into town, I thought I ain't gonna need money. So I left the wallet at home. So yeah, broke down. I've no phone, no wallet, pissing rain. So then I'm like, right, what do I do? So I sit back and I'm like, right, I better start walking, but there's two ways I can go. I can either walk home, which would be like an hour walk away, but I'd have to walk down the dual carriageway. And I thought, I ain't doing that. Or go into town looking like a down and out going into town. And I thought, right, what I'll do, I'll go walk across town, about an hour walk away. My brother works, I'm not going to say where he works in town. walk across there, and I was only about 5 minutes away, and I was like, oh, he was out last night. He ain't going to be in. So walking down there, go into his mate anyway, and I'm like, yo, can you ring him? So he rings him, and I'm not going to name my brother out. It's not race. So ring him. He can't pick me up because he had been drinking the night before, so I'm having to wait in town. Sopping wet. I mean, when I say sopping wet, I mean like soaking. So then had to get the recovery, go up to the mechanic. It was the alternator. I actually didn't realize this. So apparently if you get a low voltage coming from your battery when the alternator's gone, it'll cut out your steering. So if you have electric steering, it'll cut out your power steering. And most of them now have sensors going onto their brakes. So it'll cut out your brakes too. Chris, I thought I was going to die, my guy. Yeah. I make it sound like it was a mad wild story. Now, to be fair, I was probably going about 40 miles an hour. I make it sound like I was going 100 miles an hour and I'm flying. But no, it did shake me up, you know. And then I had that eVTOL stream set. And the worst thing is I had a guest coming on from another channel. So I was like, I can't miss this. And it was set for 9 p.m. my time, which is 4 p.m. your time. And I'm like, I can't miss this, can't miss this. So then I've had to shoot back to the farm, do all my bits, get back. And I literally got in with 5 minutes to spare. That has been my day, but that is the joy of following me 7 days a week, because you're gonna hear the ups and downs of everyday life.
I think you're full of shit. I think you're full of shit, and that's just an excuse. I've been trying to message you all day, and you're like, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. So yeah, that's just a made up story. The whole thing's made up, guys. He's
I
lying his ass
concoct
off.
it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, man, that sucks. That does suck. But that's life. We go through it. We all go through it. Um, thanks for sharing. That's the reality of life, man. That is.
So in reality, I came in here, guys, for a whip around. Yeah, so if you all send $50, I'll be able to get a new alternator. You know it. I'm messing with you guys. We don't ask for that. Chris, I'm sure the 20 people sitting here are not here to listen to my pity story about my car. But it did get me thinking something. So electricity was what caused the problem, and then it made me think about power. We've been speaking about power. We've been speaking about how Elon has said, look, the mass production of machines and robots will demand an exponential amount of power. We spoke about nuclear power yesterday, but it made me think, why don't we deep dive into this space solar solutions by RKLB? But okay, so Olga says, whoa, Liam, you can write a book. I'm glad you're okay. Do you know what, Olga? My book would not be too interesting. It'd be me going around, feeding cattle, feeding ducks, feeding hens, fencing.
If you guys heard a before and after the live streams, you'd laugh your asses off. I promise. We are idiots live, but imagine just backstream or backstage. Yeah, it's way worse. It's hilarious.
No,
It's a lot of fun.
Do you know what? Yeah, Chris, I wish you were there, my guy. Do you know when you just need someone to experience it with you? It was one of those. I was like, it had happened today. I had no fun. But no, do you know what?
Hey, we're gonna have an adventure very soon. December Neutron party. Yeah, that's coming. It's gonna happen really quick. Very, very quick. Can't wait for that. Get you
Well,
out
no,
here.
to be fair,
Yeah.
I may be coming over to the US sooner than that. So I'm going to go to Canada first. We're just speaking to the VTOL place. Going to go to Canada first. Need to interview Brandon again in person. And then Mark, our eVTOL pilot, he's going to fly us down to all the eVTOL bases. But we could stop by Virginia, my guy. And that could be quite cool because we could do a stream, even if we're not allowed into Launch Complex 3. We can do a stream outside Launch Complex 3, my guy.
Well, DC, Washington, DC is only like 4 hours away from me, so worst case, I'm pretty sure you'll be there. So yeah, either way, yeah, definitely before. But again, in December, again for Neutron party.
Then, guys, again, I know you're not here to listen to where I'm going, what I'm doing. You're here for Rocket Lab. What we're gonna do, guys, you steer our stream. There's 19 of you there at the moment. You steer our streams. You jump into the comments and stay the conversation. Whatever you want us to speak about. But Chris, we're gonna go straight into solar, if that's all right with you.
Always.
So let me get that off the screen. So we're going to do it pretty similar to what we done yesterday. We're just going to do a recap of what Rocket Lab put out there, where we can see it going, what potential use cases for it are. And then I think we should do a deep dive with Francisco offline, where there's no interruptions whatsoever, and we can just bang through facts. But so everyone's on the same page. We're going to get into the Space Solar Solutions by Rocket Lab. So, look, 4 megawatt solar cells manufactured today. What is that? 1,100 plus satellites in orbit and 500 plus satellites scheduled to launch in the next few years. They target high efficiency, flight proven space solar power. So, Rocket Lab's vertically integrated space solar solutions combine high efficiency and radiation hardened solar cells with modular and customizable solar panel arrays to power spacecraft for any orbital, lunar, and interplanetary missions. Backed by over 25 years of flight heritage, Rocket Lab is a trusted partner in satellite power systems, delivering reliable power from low Earth orbit to deep space. Chris, Solero, my guy. What can you tell us about it? What excites you about Solero?
Well, all right. So I guess the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that with every acquisition, for the most part, maybe not every acquisition, but most of the acquisitions that Rocket Lab has bought into, they were losing money, and they had prior contracts that they had to fulfill, and so they had to absorb those losses, long term or short term, how you want to look at it. But moving forward with the likes of Peter Beck and the leadership of Rocket Lab, we're going to start actually seeing, instead of losses on those acquisitions, we're going to start seeing more revenue in their space systems. And that's like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, we're moving into that in the next year or two. I think we all love launch. Launch is fun, it's exciting, but I think we easily overlook the space system side. And yeah, with acquisitions like a Solera, even with Geos recently, and possibly Binary, which is losing money, but if you put Beck in charge, pretty sure they're going to make money. Same thing. You absorb, you kind of absorb a few losses initially, but long term, you turn those losses around, fulfill those contracts, and then now you have the advantage of selling for a higher price, and yes, making more revenue.
Yeah, and then jumping across, so complete solar power solution for all spacecraft. So looking at the cells or cell interconnected components, the solar cells are CIC are the highest efficiency commercial available products in the industry, offering more than 4 megawatts of power delivered for flight missions. The high efficiency, their solar cells and CICs achieve efficiencies of up to 34%, making them among the most efficient in the industry. We need to think, guys, the efficiency of solar panels up in the vacuum of space is about 10 times that of what you can expect down here on Earth. So they come in custom sizes. The standard cell areas reach up to 81.5 centimeters squared, with custom sizes available to meet specific mission requirements. And then they have flight-proofing technology. They offer space-qualified triple junction, whatever you want to talk about that. Then
Well,
solar
you have
panels.
to have like something like what Tesla's doing with like the power walls and their energy storage, whether it's in space or it's transferred to Earth, because not everybody has the luxury of having 4 seasons or having night and day. Like think about Alaska. Solar panels don't really work great for Alaska. They're dark 6 months out of the year. The further you get away from the sun, the less solar panels are going to work. So you're going to need energy storage.
Then the solar panels and substrates. Rocket Lab's space-qualified solar panels arrays meets the rigorous demands of space, delivering reliable and efficient power solutions for a variety of satellites. The customizable solar array solutions is a modular solar solution to meet the diverse power needs of the satellites operating in any orbital condition. They are rigid, or they have rigid and flexible options. They provide both rigid and flexible built-in solar panels, fully tested and ready for integration into solar array assemblies. And then the comprehensive solutions. Their offering includes a rigid space photovoltaic, guys, help me out with that one, solar panel assemblies, solar panel substrates, and solar power modules and flexible PVA panels. Chris, am I wrong? Did they use this on the Hubble, the Rocket Lab? Is it the Hubble or is it the James Webb?
James Webb.
James Webb.
Yeah, I do believe James Webb. That was a
Then,
lot. That was a whole lot of info right there in a short amount of time. But yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I have no problem being wrong, but I do believe that was the James Webb. Again, that was what 3 years ago, 5 years ago.
yeah.
The integration is, I mean, it's growing so fast. It's growing so fast, getting better, bigger, better every day. What we're gonna see for the next 5 or 6 months is gonna be incredible, absolutely incredible.
Then, powering the next era of space, Rocket Lab supports the new era of space missions with advanced solar solutions for CubeSats, smallsats, and large satellite constellations. Within the smallsat and CubeSat support, they offer a range of solar panel sizes and power options to fit both the cube and the small sats, using the most efficient space grade solar. Look, it's all getting a little bit repetitive there. But could we see the likes of Solero being one of the major parts of Rocket Lab's business? Could you honestly see? We spoke about a gas station in space, but this is the next best thing to a gas station in space. The predominant leader in space-based solar power. Then we have the potential of beaming it back down to Earth. We've spoken about that. I don't know how many times. I don't know if we're going to dive that today. But then again, in the likes of the lunar missions, they're going to need power to run that manned base on the moon. And the same with the Martian base. Now, the only thing with the Martian base, I don't know. I reckon SpaceX may come up with some methane-based solution to generate electricity there. But could you see Rocket Lab being the major player as a space service when it comes to generating power for anything space-related?
Yeah, and I'll drop one on you. Um, you've talked about this, but yeah, let's discuss EcoStar.
Okay, yeah.
We've been speculating over what or who has been the confidential client over the last what I don't know, last 5 or 6 missions. Two or three have been confidential. The last one, Live Love Launch, uh, Symphony, and there was one other confidential. That was a small set constellation, and we've all been speculating on who it could be. Uh, Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always wrong. That's fine. But I've been diving into EcoStar, EchoStar, how you pronounce it. I don't know, but you guys tell me. What do you think?
I think we got whispers that it was EchoStar. I don't know, did we get any confirmation? But the more you speak to me about it off air, I can really see where you're getting at with the EchoStar and why you believe that EchoStar is this constellation that we're building out.
You're looking at INQ right next to the Maryland complex for RKLB and Lockheed. Um, Data centers going in rapidly, and then surrounding those data centers, it's almost like a spider web kind of thing, and it's all EcoStar. It is. Um, Fact check me. Go to Indeed.com and put in a resume and for Virginia and the jobs for EcoStar. It's absolutely insane. They're hiring for everything, anything and everything, and they're trying to build as fast as possible. Um, yeah, that's a whole different interesting conversation right there. I don't have obviously we don't know anything here, but speculation is always fun. We always think outside the box, but that's a very good possibility.
I kind of want to touch on IonQ now you mentioned it. So IonQ and space-based data centers, space-based quantum computing. Is it something of fan fiction, or is it something you could see actually manifest itself into reality within even the next 5 to 10 years?
I thought there were already companies doing that. I mean, to a small degree, but you have huge energy issues that overcome. The heat. I mean, I think they get hot. They get really hot. Um, but yeah, good question. Very good. Very good question. I like INQ. Also, Rigetti. I think that's how you pronounce it. Rigetti. Um, but yeah, quantum based solutions, especially space based. Yeah, um, it's a lot of fun. A lot of interesting possibilities there for sure.
I want to bring Vast CNC on at some stage to speak about the likes of quantum computing. He seems to know or have heavy insight into quantum computing. He seems to have heavy insight into the actual process behind the transfer of helium 3 into helium 4 and the actual nuclear reaction that takes place. I know it's something to do with they give off less charged neutrons, and that's why they're less radioactive. But look, I'm not going to pretend that I am any sort of nuclear physicist. So, guys, if anyone could help me out in the comments, please do. Then jumping across to look, we've been speaking to the likes of Astroforge. Could you ever see a collaboration between Rocket Lab, Astroforge, go out space mining on asteroids, not the moon, go out on a more or less a reconnaissance mission, go out there, get the stuff and come back? And if so, what would you be hoping they'd be mining for?
Good question. Very good question. Yeah, I see that as a possibility. As far as what they would be mining for, I no clue. I would not want to speculate because they do. I mean, Beck is very sciencey kind of guy, for good reason. But yeah, won't speculate on what they might be mining for. But trying to mine or you know do some work with Astroforge, yeah, that'd be fun. Why not?
Then I want to kind of jump into the payloads Rocket Labs have spoken about. So, guys, anyone, if you are unaware what payloads more or less are, they're the eyes and ears of your satellite. It's the easiest way for me to explain it. So, jumping across Rocket Lab, payload precision payloads for the most demanding missions. So, looking first, we have the optical systems. So, Rocket Lab's optical systems deliver satellite payloads purpose-built for US national security and intelligence missions, building on more than 20 years of electro-optical and infrared systems. Innovations from GEOS, you've seen it here first, guys. Rocket Lab's optical systems delivers solutions to warfighter for responsive, scalable sensing solutions across all orbital domains. So, first we have the Heimdall. So, that's a space
That's a
domain
lot.
awareness. You what?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Space domain awareness. Wow. That was great. That's a mouthful and then some.
So, if we get into them first, we have the Heimdall for space domain awareness, we have the Phoenix for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and then we have the Starlight for space protection and survivability. So, Rocket Lab's optical systems provide high performance electro optical and infrared sensors, secure laser communications, and advanced mission autonomy solutions. The sensors are optimized for precision tracking, real time data processing, and resilient operations across proliferated warfare architecture. Now, I do have one question for the chat because I don't fully understand this myself. You may know yourself, Chris. What is the difference between a GEOS laser communication system and a Mynaric laser communication system? Because I'm going to be honest, my guy, I haven't a Scooby.
Good question. Good question. But I was thinking before that. I was already thinking about how did we get that data leading up to that, as far as what they needed for the next step as far as an acquisition. Um, that led me right back to haste.
Okay.
We're behind this year on haste launches, but we've also gathered a lot of info from those haste launches we've had in the past. Uh, I know we're late. We're delayed on. We should have had like at least 3 or 4 already this year. Um, I don't think it's Rocket Lab. I think it's on the client. That's usually the case when it comes to launches. Rocket Lab's always ready for the most part.
The
Um,
only thing that does, I'm going to stop you there. The only thing that does worry me, and I know I sound like a bear when I say this, the only thing that does worry me there is we're getting told there's so much demand for haste. And we can say it's a customer problem. But surely if you have all this demand, you have something ready. So there's either not that demand yet, and you foresee the demand, or there's something not right where why is
or
haste
or
being pushed back?
or we're still just very early on space overall. I mean, think about it. Wall Street is just now catching up. We've been in for the last 2 or 3 years, 4 years max. As far as looking at investing into researching into space, It's like the early days of the internet, where most people thought it was just a gimmick. Um, and we know that space is very early, so it could be just as simple as that. We're just early.
But like, what I'm trying to say is, okay, you build ponds, Chris, yeah. So it'd be like me coming to you saying that, no, you coming to me and saying, I have so much demand for people to build pond, or that I need to build ponds for, yeah. And me going, right, when's your next build? And you saying January. And then you pushing it out and then saying, no, it's always a customer problem. It's not my problem. And then I would then go back to you and say, well, if there's this much demand for it, why don't you just go to another client and do it for them instead? Do you see what I'm kind of getting at?
No, that's a fair question, um, and a good question, and I have a good answer for that. Because the thing is that as a business owner, you have to realize potential losses and try and maximize your potential gains. So there's always going to be a risk. There's always going to be the risk. And with a company like a Rocket Lab, where you're talking about like with a pond company like me, you're talking about like 100,000, 200,000 a year, where you're talking about 100,000 millions. I'm sorry, a few $100 million to a few $1 billion a year. Totally different mindset, totally different concept. Um, but at the same time, it's still that basic. Um, you have to, realize the potential gains and minimize your potential losses, which Beck is amazing at. I mean, God, man, that guy is freaking brilliant. He really
Yeah,
is.
nah, like, look, I'm bullish about the whole company in general. The only bit I really can't put my finger on at the moment, you know how bullish I am about the whole defensive sector and how bullish I am about the Hayes project. That is just my only question. If I had to have any sort of question about Rocket Lab, that is my only one. The fact that we're told there's this amount of demand and the fact that we're pushing one mission constantly back, well, then it'd be like, right, okay, push them back, but pull from your demand in. That's the only thing that questions me. I have questions about haste. Apart from that, bullish about the whole thing. VaCNC says, howdy, y'all. VaCNC, big shout out, my guy. I was just speaking about you about 5 minutes ago. We need you on. Talk about quantum computing, talking about nuclear physics. Because, not going to lie, I'm a farmer. I'm not a nuclear physicist. But jumping back to the payloads. So they're manufactured in the US and engineered for the demands of space protection, missile defense, and space domain awareness. These systems enable resilience, rapid attrition, and secure communications, supporting the core national security space capabilities like the proposed Golden Dome architecture and Space Development Agency tracking layer. Now, guys, don't say they're not confident about getting into the Golden Dome when they literally put it banging on their website. They've said it is perfect for the likes of the proposed Golden Dome architecture and the Space Development Agency's tracking layer. Chris, do you actually think that GEOS has more or less dotted the I's and crossed the T's when it comes to Rocket Lab's ability to gaining contracts for the Golden Dome?
Maybe not quite yet, but same time, I think we're not we as a group. I think we, when I say me, I think I'm still behind. Again, I say it all the time. I say this: we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. We haven't really deep dived enough into this contract. Yeah, we've seen some great posts and some great information, but there's a lot more to uncover. A lot more with not just Geos, but hopefully the Moneric thing comes through, because man, that's going to be amazing as well.
Yeah, and then jumping across, the flight tested optical systems with heritage of 100% on orbit mission success delivering when it matters most. So, safeguarding assets across all orbits. So, they're supporting mission critical operations across, again, missile defense, space domain awareness, space protection, and laser communications. Rocket Lab's optical systems deliver the precision, speed, and resilience required from today's contested space domain. I think with this whole Geos acquisition, they've really marketed this quite nicely and have more or less pushed it into everyone's face that, look, DC is perfect for the Golden Dome. I would be, I don't know if this just me wearing my heart on my sleeve, but I would be pretty confident we're going to get a substantial contract in regards to the Golden Dome. Francisco said it when he was on last that we are due a big contract. The last absolutely mega one we got was that SDA contract. But when I talk mega contract,
Well,
I
we
mean,
just got that CHIPS Act contract for semiconductors,
say that again.
right? The CHIPS Act contract we just got. It was I don't know how
Yeah,
many. Yeah. For the semiconductors, that just happened recently. I don't think that's priced in quite yet. Um, yeah, I think we're still early, very early. That's a big. That's $23 million, I think. Um, not small. And then you look at Space Force on top of. Yeah, we look at the Golden Dome all the time, right? And yeah, they got a lot of money, and they're pushing out a lot of money. And yes, we're probably going to see Rocket Lab get some contracts or contracts via other companies because they work with them. But Space Force itself also has a big chunk of money to give out. It's probably going to be working directly with the Golden Dome, and odds are that Rocket Lab is going to get some of that money as well. So I think we're early. I think we're very early when it comes to Rocket Lab.
then via CNC, I actually want to ask you a question here on this. So locking down Minaric will help a lot on the Golden Dawn. So via CNC, do you understand the difference between the laser communication between the Geost terminals and the Minaric terminals? I know Minaric have the ground terminals and they can fit them to UAVs. But what is the difference between the laser communications? Because that is something I genuinely don't know. And guys, if anyone else in the comments can explain it to me, please jump in and tell me. SpongeRob, big shout out, my guy. Hey guys, just popping in during lunch break. How's it going? During lunch break, my guy. What time is it where you are? It's
He's,
1:05 at night here.
I think
What time is it for
SpongeBob,
you, Chris?
bro, he's a Kiwi. For me, what
Oh,
time
he's
is
a
it? It is
Kiwi.
like 8 or 9. I can't see my phone, man. I'm blind and I'm old, man. Leave me alone. Come on. I'm blind and old. I'm about to start a bonfire. It's getting dark out here. But yeah, I think SpongeBob's definitely Kiwi, man. The best of the best, man. You guys out in New Zealand, my favorite. You guys are my favorite.
Then Vassian C says Golden Dome is a lock. The question is timing. Then going across to mission areas, so missile defense, detection and tracking, next generation threats. So Rocket Labs, infrared systems detect and track hypersonic and ballistic threats in real time. Designed for proliferated constellations, the infrared sensors detect, track, and defend against missile threats throughout and boost glide
Which
re-entry
Space
chain.
Force? That's Space Force, man. Again, yes. Golden Dome contracts. Yes, I agree. Rocket Lab will see those, but that which you just read out, you posting now, that's Space Force. Again, They got a lot of money, directed towards them, and they already work with Rocket Lab on so many different levels, not including DARPA and SDA. Geez, man, um, the next 3 to 5 years is going to be absolutely insane. Crazy.
So the operational capabilities that are threat detection and response, resilient satellite constellations, and tactically responsive operations. Then we have space domain awareness, so persistent visibility access, the orbital battle space. So Rocket Lab's optical systems delivers persistent space domain awareness solutions from space-based sensors to optical ground observatories, tracking, identifying, and characterizing objects from low Earth orbit to cislunar space. The systems provide near real-time custody of advisory actions, rendezvous and proximity operation events, and orbital changes that could pose a threat to national assets. So the operational capabilities are detecting, tracking, and characterizing orbital objects, RPO tracking, and real-time on-orbit threat identifications. We've hit Space Force, the STA there. Then jumping across with space detection or protection. So we have detect, deter, and respond to on-orbit threats. So their payload delivers actionable indications and warnings for adversary activity in orbit, enabling fast attribution and effective deterrence. With autonomous onboard analytics, their solutions ensure persistent protection of high-value assets across orbital domains. So their orbital capabilities are real-time INW, low latency and autonomous decision-making, and supports deterrence through attribution. SpongeRob has jumped in and said, it is 12:10 lunchtime on a Monday. My God. Or to be fair, it's Monday here. My God. That is wild. Chris isn't even ready for bed yet. So, looking at the infrared sensors, they are state-of-the-art infrared payload optimized for ISR and missile warning and missile defense missions. The shortwave, midwave, and longwave sensors. They're designed for persistent surveillance in space-based missile defense and protection missions that optimize for performance across dynamic operating environments and threat spectrum. CNC has jumped in and said he's not sure of the differentiation between the different laser communications. Don't follow Rocket Lab as much as he should because I trust the team so much. Do you know what? That is probably one of my favorite comments.
Can I ask this, or just maybe think about this? Is there a difference between the ground-based communication from the receptors, from whether it's radio frequencies or laser-based, that have something or anything to do with the ground-based reception? Or
is there any say that again?
Well, you have to have a reception on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Or reception. So, is there a difference in the radio frequency or the laser-based frequency that makes it better or worse?
Yeah, so laser will be so much quicker from the ground up to space because you're in the atmosphere. You're traveling at the speed of light.
Okay.
I think they're much higher bandwidth and they're much less likely to be tapped into. If you're going through a narrow band.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Electro-optical, so advanced sensors supporting SDA and on-orbit sensing operations. So high-resolution imaging with real-time algorithmic processing, low size, weight, and power, compact payloads for scalable constellation integration, full Earth orbit solutions from space-based sensors to ground-based data exploitation, and then affordable and purpose-built for national security space architecture.
So
Vaccine
again,
space to
you had.
space is easier. Most
Sorry,
of it. No, you're fine.
I was gonna say. So again, you had to have that ground-based data center, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking here. I'm just thinking.
No, you're fine. So vaccine season, space to space is easier. Most of laser lost is thrown. So the beam through the atmosphere. So that is our deep dive into space-based systems then, or into payloads. So we've done payloads, we've done solar solutions, we've done photon and the 4 different types of photon bosses. We've done flatellite. I think that's a nice little basic understanding before we get into an actual deep dive into each of the segments and then what we see as the ideal reality for RKLB and what we actually see as the most. Look, we can go down 2 paths. I think I'll do 2 separate videos on it. We can do our elaborate rabbit hole pathway, and then we can do our most realistic pathway. We can do a sort of conservative approach, a mid approach, and a very, very optimistic approach. I think we will be able to cover all 3 of them. Chris, anything more you want to add?
Yes. I will be traveling very soon, so I guess this live stream will be going on the road. I'll be in Pensacola, Florida. I'll be in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'll be in the Ozarks of Arkansas over the next 5 weeks. So yeah, strap on, jump aboard, we have a lot of fun. Yeah, big jobs going ahead. But yeah, I guess that's all I have. It's just I'll be traveling for it, and I just drag you guys along with listening.
Yeah, no, I'm quite excited. Thursday, I'm going out to Milan. Now, I did say I do have a new camera coming on tomorrow. So I might do a few test videos. You'll see me pushing out videos tomorrow. They won't have this background on it. They'll probably have my farm in the background. That way I will be able to stay in communication while I'm away. So I'm away in Milan for a week. I should still be able to pump videos out. And look,
Yeah, I'll be in Florida, and then Tennessee. So yeah, that'll be fun. A lot of fun.
guys, if there's anything else you want from us, do jump into the comments now. I'll give you about 5 minutes. Also, do make sure to bang the subscribe button. We are growing at an astronomical rate at this stage. I never thought it would get this fast, this big, this fast.
Yeah, what you said, that's funny. But thanks, guys. It's been a lot of fun. So much fun. It's funny that you're actually going out of town yourself. So the next week we'll just be in like different parts of the country, going live from different views. As you guys know, I go live, right from my phone. So sorry, yeah, sun went down. It's dark tonight, but next time it's dark, you'll be in Florida or Tennessee or God knows where. But yeah, I'll leave Tuesday, and yeah, we'll have some fun.
Also, guys, make sure to hit that like button. It's the only way to get us out to more people. Now, we have had a very quiet chat today. So, what I'm going to do, I know it's holidays over there. I know you're all tired of listening to us. So, what I'm going to say is, my name's Liam. I am one of the house brothers. We're going to call it early tonight. I'm here, my good friend Chris. Chris,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so happy with your day today. I'm delighted for you. Everything's looking up. for you now. So humble and excited to be on this journey with you. We'll continue to do this 7 days a week. We ain't going nowhere.
I'll see
Yeah,
you
this
soon.
one is up.
I'll see you in Virginia very soon, my friend. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Vaccine C says peace. Thank you, my guy. And what we'll do, yeah, do you know what? I promise you, be a bit earlier tomorrow. All right, guys, we'll see you then.